Captain Aaron Voss pressed her forehead against the cool viewport of the Sentinel's bridge. Stars glimmered in the vast darkness, distant and indifferent to the political machinations of the species who claimed ownership of their light. The year 2478 had begun with an uneasy peace in the aftermath of the interplanetary war, with the multi-species alliance maintaining control over most of the Orion Spur. "Captain, incoming transmission from S-19 relay station," called out Communications Officer Tara Reeves, her voice breaking the contemplative silence. Erin straightened her Earth civilian fleet uniform and returned to her command chair. "Put it through." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the stern face of Commander Wallace. "Captain Voss, your patrol route is being extended. Alliance diplomats are concerned about unusual activity near the Ryloth asteroid cluster." "Unusual how?" Erin asked, tapping the arm of her chair. "Unregistered ships, communication blackouts. Could be smugglers, could be nothing. Either way, the Alliance wants human eyes on it." Erin nodded. 5 years after Earth's blockade had been lifted, the planet's relationship with the multi-species alliance remained tenuous. Patrol missions like this one were as much about demonstrating Earth's compliance as they were about actual peacekeeping. "Understood, Commander. We'll adjust course immediately." "One more thing, Voss," Wallace added, his expression hardening. "Keep it observational. The Alliance is particularly sensitive about human intervention these days." The transmission ended, leaving Erin with a familiar weight on her shoulders. The Sentinel wasn't a warship. It was a patrol vessel designed for monitoring and reporting. Its crew of 30 was handpicked for their diplomatic skills as much as their technical expertise. "Navigation," she called out. "Plot a course for the Ryloth cluster." "Course plotted, Captain," replied Navigator Elias Jordan. "ETA 14 hours at standard speed." "Engineering, how are we on fuel reserves?" Chief Engineer Samira Khoury's voice came through the comm system. "We're at 87%, Captain. More than enough for the extended patrol." "Good. Maintain standard speed." Erin rose from her chair. "Lieutenant Reeves, you have the bridge. I'll be in my quarters reviewing the mission parameters." In her sparse quarters, Erin pulled up the star charts showing the Ryloth asteroid cluster, located at the edge of Alliance territory. The cluster was known mainly for its mining operations, rich in rare minerals but sparsely populated. The perfect location for illicit activities. Her thoughts were interrupted by a soft chime from her personal console. It was a message from Alien Liaison Officer Mirka, a Trelosian with iridescent scales and 6 fingers on each hand. "Captain, may I have a moment of your time?" the message read. "Enter!" Erin called, closing the star charts. Mirka glided into the room, her movements fluid despite the Sentinel's artificial gravity. Like all Trelosians, she possessed an innate grace that made humans seem clumsy by comparison. "I've been reviewing the diplomatic briefings regarding Ryloth," Mirka said, her voice melodic. "I believe there may be more to this assignment than Commander Wallace indicated." Erin raised an eyebrow. "Go on." "The Alliance Council held a closed session 3 days ago. No official record was released, but my contacts indicate it concerned Earth's technological advancements since the blockade ended." "That's not surprising," Erin replied. "They've been monitoring our progress since day one." "Yes, but this was different. There's concern about specific technologies, particularly our advancements in biotechnology. Some council members believe humans are developing weapons in violation of the Treaty of Proxima." Erin frowned. The treaty, signed after the Interplanetary War, strictly prohibited biological weapons development by any species. Earth had been one of the first signatories. "That's absurd. Earth's biotech research is focused on healing, not warfare." "Perhaps," Mirka said, her head tilting slightly. "But perception often matters more than reality in interspecies politics. I believe our mission to Ryloth may be connected to these concerns." "You think we're being tested?" I think we're being watched more closely than usual. Merca's multifaceted eyes reflected the dim light of Aaron's quarters. Caution would be advisable. After Merca left, Aaron sat in silence, contemplating the implications. If the Alliance suspected Earth of treaty violations, the fragile peace could be at risk. The Sentinel's mission had just become more complicated than a simple patrol. Hours later, as the Sentinel approached the Ryloth cluster, Aaron returned to the bridge, finding it humming with focused activity. "Status report," she ordered, settling into her command chair. "We're entering the outer perimeter of the cluster," Jordan reported from navigation. "Sensors are picking up normal mining operations on the 3 largest asteroids. Communications?" Lieutenant Reeves frowned at her console. "Standard traffic, but there's something odd. Captain, I'm detecting a weak distress signal coming from the far side of the cluster." "Source?" "Difficult to say. It's using an old Earth frequency, civilian emergency band." Aaron's instincts flared. "Put it through!" Static filled the bridge, punctuated by fragmented words. "Under attack. Earth citizens. Request immediate. Not Alliance." "Can you clean that up?" Aaron asked. "Working on it," Reeves replied, her fingers dancing across her console. Signals being partially blocked by the asteroid field. Armament Officer Dax Wright spoke up from his station. "Captain, should I prepare defensive systems?" "Not yet," Aaron replied. "We don't know what we're dealing with." The ship's AI, Area, materialized as a translucent blue figure beside Aaron's chair. "Captain, I've analyzed the transmission pattern. It matches protocols used by Earth civilian mining operations. The encryption is authentic." "Could it be a trap?" Aaron asked. "Possibility exists, but is statistically unlikely, given the signal degradation patterns." Arya responded. "This appears to be a genuine distress call." Aaron made her decision. "Navigation. Set course for the signal origin. Communications. Inform S-19 that we're investigating a potential emergency situation involving Earth civilians." "Captain," Merca interjected from her station. "The Alliance protocols recommend waiting for backup when responding to unverified distress calls in disputed territories." "Noted, Officer Merca. But those are Earth citizens out there." Aaron's voice was firm. "We're going in." The Sentinel moved deeper into the asteroid field, navigating the floating rocks with precision. As they approached the source of the distress signal, sensors began to pick up more details. "I'm detecting a small outpost on asteroid RY-42, reported Science Officer Naomi Wells. "Approximately 20 life signs, mostly human. There's also..." "Captain, I'm picking up weapons fire." "On screen," Aaron ordered. The main view screen displayed a mining outpost built into the side of a cratered asteroid. Several small ships were docked at its landing pads, and flashes of energy weapons illuminated the rocky surface. "Magnify," Aaron commanded. The image zoomed in, revealing armored figures firing upon what appeared to be civilians in mining gear. The attackers wore insignia that Aaron didn't recognize. "Those aren't Alliance peacekeepers," Wright observed. "No," Aaron agreed grimly. "They're not." She tapped her comm badge. "Tactical team to the shuttle bay. Prepare for emergency deployment." "Captain," Merca cautioned, "direct intervention could be seen as a violation of..." "I'm aware of the political implications, Officer Merca," Aaron cut in. "But I'm not going to watch civilians get slaughtered while we debate protocol." She stood. "Lieutenant Reeves, you have the bridge. Maintain position and be ready for emergency extraction. Officer Wright, you're with me." Minutes later, Aaron led a team of 6 through the Sentinel's shuttle bay. Armament Officer Wright, Security Chief Hassan, and 3 security specialists followed her into the tactical shuttle. Rules of engagement. Aaron addressed the team as the shuttle prepared for launch. "We protect the civilians first. Identify the attackers second. Lethal force only if necessary." The shuttle launched, streaking toward the asteroid. As they approached, Aaron could see the situation more clearly. The attackers, approximately 15 armored soldiers, were herding the miners toward one of the docked ships. "They're not killing them," Wright observed. "They're taking prisoners." "Or hostages," Hassan added grimly. The shuttle's communication system crackled. "Unidentified vessel. This area is under quarantine by order of the Galactic Health Commission. Withdraw immediately." Aaron frowned. "That's not an Alliance frequency." "No," Wright agreed. "And the Galactic Health Commission doesn't have armed enforcement units." "Take us in," Aaron ordered the pilot. "Weapons hot, but hold fire unless fired upon." As the shuttle descended toward the outpost's landing pad, Aaron caught sight of equipment being loaded onto the attacker's ship. Equipment that bore Earth manufacturing marks. "They're not just taking people," she realized. "They're stealing technology." The shuttle touched down 50 meters from the conflict. Aaron's team deployed, using the mining equipment as cover. Through her tactical visor, Aaron could see the miners more clearly now. Terrified men and women in civilian clothing, some injured. "Captain," Hassan's voice came through her comm. "I've got a visual on their leader. Humanoid, but definitely not human. Appears to be Crexian." Crexians, a species known for their mercenary activities and their 4 arms, each capable of operating a weapon independently. The Alliance had been trying to crack down on Crexian mercenary groups for years. "Understood. Move forward. Establish a perimeter around the civilians." As the team advanced, one of the attackers spotted them. "Humans! Earth military!" Energy bolts streaked toward Aaron's position. She ducked behind a mining cart, returning fire with her pulse rifle, set to stun. "So much for diplomacy," Wright muttered beside her. The skirmish was brief, but intense. Aaron's team, though outnumbered, had the advantage of surprise and superior position. Within minutes, 3 of the attackers were down, and the others were retreating toward their ship. "They're pulling back," Hassan reported, "taking some of the equipment with them." "And 3 of the miners," added Security Specialist Zhang. Aaron made a split-second decision. "Hassan, secure the remaining civilians. Wright, Zhang, with me. We're going after that ship." They sprinted across the asteroid's low-gravity surface, pulse rifles at the ready. Ahead, the attacker's ship was powering up, its engines glowing ominously. "We're not going to make it," Zhang panted. "Yes, we are," Aaron insisted, pushing herself harder. They were 20 meters from the ship when its landing ramp began to close. Through the narrowing gap, Aaron caught a glimpse of a tall figure with 4 arms, the Crexian leader. His upper right hand held what appeared to be a data drive with Earth markings. Their eyes met briefly before the ramp sealed shut. The ship lifted off, its thrusters kicking up dust and debris. "Captain, should I attempt to disable their engines?" Wright asked, raising his rifle. Aaron considered it for a moment, then shook her head. "No, we don't know what kind of weapons they have on board. If we provoke them, they might harm the hostages." She watched as the ship accelerated away from the asteroid, disappearing into the darkness of space. "Captain Voss to Sentinel," she spoke into her comm. "Track that vessel. I want to know where it's going." "Acknowledged, Captain," came Reeves's reply. "We have them on long-range sensors." Aaron turned to Wright. "Let's check on the civilians." Back at the mining outpost, Hassan had gathered the remaining miners in what appeared to be a mess hall. 17 men and women sat or stood around the room, some being treated for minor injuries by the team's medic. A gray-haired woman stepped forward as Aaron entered. "Captain, I'm Dr. Eleanor Reed, chief researcher at this facility. Thank God you came when you did." "What happened here, Dr. Reed?" Aaron asked. "They came without warning," Reed explained, her voice steady despite the circumstances. "Said they were Alliance health inspectors. Claimed there had been reports of a contagion. We let them dock. We had no reason not to. Once inside, they started rounding us up, taking our research materials." "What kind of research?" Reed hesitated, glancing at the other miners. "Doctor," Aaron pressed, "I need to know what they were after." We're not just miners, Captain, Reed finally said. This is a research outpost. We're studying asteroid microorganisms for potential medical applications. Completely legal under the Treaty of Proxima, she added quickly. But valuable, Wright observed. Extremely, Reed nodded. Some of these microbes have shown remarkable properties: cell regeneration, targeted pathogen destruction. Pharmaceutical companies back on Earth would pay billions for our research. And the people they took? Aaron asked. My senior research team, Doctors Morgan, Patel, and Lahiri. They know the most about our discoveries. Aaron's comm badge chirped. Captain, came Reeves's voice. The vessel has left the asteroid field. They're on course for the Mizar system. Mizar? Aaron frowned. There's nothing out there except... The black market exchange, Wright finished grimly. Aaron made her decision. Dr. Reed, we need to evacuate this facility. Gather only what's essential. You're coming with us. But our research is compromised, Aaron cut in. And those attackers might come back with reinforcements. We're leaving in 20 minutes. Back on the Sentinel. Aaron called an emergency briefing in the ship's conference room. Her tactical team, along with Mirka, Science Officer Wells, and Dr. Reed gathered around the table. The ship we tracked has entered the Mizar system, Aaron began. Based on their trajectory, we believe they're heading for Mizar 6, specifically, the settlement known as Nexus Point. The black market exchange, Hassan said. A hive of smugglers and mercenaries. And technically outside Alliance jurisdiction, Mirka added. The Alliance maintains minimal presence there to monitor activities. But they don't interfere with local governance. Which makes it the perfect place to sell stolen research, Wright concluded. Dr. Reed looked distressed. Captain, if our research falls into the wrong hands, it could be weaponized. The microbes we're studying could theoretically be modified to target specific genetic markers. A biological weapon, Wells said softly. Precisely what the Treaty of Proxima was designed to prevent, Mirka observed. Aaron stood, pacing the length of the conference room. So we have mercenaries stealing potentially weaponizable biotech from an Earth facility, 3 kidnapped scientists, and a destination known for illegal arms dealing. She stopped, facing her team. The implications are clear. Someone's trying to develop bioweapons using Earth technology, Wright said. And framing humans in the process, Aaron added. If the Alliance discovers biological weapons derived from Earth research, they could reimpose the blockade, or worse. The room fell silent as the gravity of the situation sank in. What are your orders, Captain? Hassan finally asked. Aaron's jaw set with determination. We're going after them. Captain, Mirka interjected. I must advise caution. Following an unidentified vessel into non-Alliance territory exceeds our patrol mandate. We should report to S-19 and request instructions. By the time we get those instructions, the scientists could be dead, and the research sold to the highest bidder. Aaron countered. No. Officer Mirka, this is a direct threat to Earth citizens and, potentially, to interspecies peace. We're going in. She turned to the others. Wells, work with Dr. Reed to understand exactly what these microbes can do and how they might be weaponized. Hassan, prepare a tactical assessment of Nexus Point. Wright, inventory our weapons. I want options that won't start an interplanetary incident. As the team dispersed, Mirka remained behind. Captain, may I speak freely? Always. You are walking a dangerous line. The Alliance is already suspicious of Earth's intentions. If you intervene at Nexus Point without authorization, what would you have me do, Mirka? Stand by while Earth technology is used to create weapons that could kill millions? While Earth gets blamed for treaty violations, we didn't commit. I understand your position, Mirka said softly. But consider the bigger picture. If your actions are perceived as aggressive, it could affect relations between Earth and the entire Alliance. Aaron sighed. I appreciate your concern, and I value your perspective. But sometimes, the right thing and the politically expedient thing aren't the same. Just be careful, Captain, America said. The oldest rule in the galaxy, do not mess with humans, works both ways. Humans would be wise not to provoke the Alliance unnecessarily. After Mirka left, Arin returned to the bridge. Set course for the Mizar system, maximum speed, she ordered, and send a message to S-19. Inform them that we're pursuing suspects in an attack on Earth civilians. Not asking permission? Reeves asked with a slight smile. Notifying them of our actions, Arin corrected. There's a difference. As the Sentinel accelerated toward the Mizar system, Arin couldn't shake the feeling that they were heading into something bigger than a simple case of technology theft. The pieces didn't quite fit. Why target this specific research? Why kidnap the scientists instead of just killing them? Someone was playing a deeper game, and Arin was determined to find out who, before it was too late for the kidnapped scientists and potentially for Earth itself. The journey to the Mizar system took 12 hours, during which Arin's team prepared intensively. Science Officer Wells and Dr. Reed analyzed the research data that had been left behind, while Hassan and Wright developed infiltration strategies for Nexus Point. Mirka, meanwhile, used her extensive diplomatic contacts to gather intelligence about recent activities in the black market exchange. Her report was troubling. There's been an increase in high-level transactions involving biological materials, she informed Arin. Multiple species are involved, but the buyers remain anonymous. Any connection to the Crexian mercenaries we encountered? Not directly, but there's mention of a broker named Kralnex who specializes in weapons technology. He's been particularly active in recent months. Kralnex, Arin repeated. I want everything we have on him. Aria, the ship's AI, materialized. Accessing Alliance criminal database, Kralnex, Crexian male, approximately 150 standard years old, former Alliance military, dishonorably discharged for illegal weapons testing. Known affiliations with multiple mercenary groups and weapons manufacturers. Currently wanted in 7-star systems for treaty violations, smuggling, and murder. Charming character, Arin muttered. Indeed, Aria agreed. Records indicate he has specialized knowledge of biological weapon systems. During the Interplanetary War, he was briefly attached to a classified Alliance research division, so he knows his way around biotech, Wright observed. And has the connections to sell it, Hassan added. As the Sentinel approached the Mizar system, Arin gathered her team for final briefing. The plan was straightforward but risky. They would dock at Nexus Point under the guise of a commercial vessel, locate the kidnapped scientists, and extract them without alerting local authorities or the mercenaries. We'll go in with minimal equipment, Arin explained. Standard sidearms only, concealed. Wright, Hassan, and I will form the extraction team. Mirka, you'll be our liaison. Your species is common enough at the exchange that you won't draw attention. The rest of you will remain on the Sentinel, she continued. Dr. Reed, I want you ready to verify the research materials if we locate them. Wells, monitor communications. If anything goes wrong, be prepared for emergency extraction. And if we encounter Kralnex? Wright asked. Arin's expression hardened. We avoid direct confrontation if possible. Our priority is the scientists and the research. But if he stands between us and them... She left the implication hanging in the air. One more thing, she added. If we're not back in 6 hours, or if you lose contact with us for more than 30 minutes, Lieutenant Reeves has authorization to contact S-19 and request Alliance intervention. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, Hassan said grimly. The Sentinel approached Nexus Point, a sprawling space station built into and around a captured asteroid. Originally a mining facility, it had evolved over decades into a semi-lawless marketplace where anything could be bought or sold for the right price. Approaching docking bay, reported the helmsman. We're being hailed. Put it through, Arin ordered. A bored voice filled the bridge. Incoming vessel, identify yourself and state your business. This is the Independent Transport Horizon, Aaron replied, using their cover identity. Requesting permission to dock for repairs and resupply. There was a pause. Scanning your vessel, transmit cargo manifest and crew complement. Arya silently indicated that a pre-prepared false manifest had been sent. Manifest received. Proceed to docking bay 12. Standard docking fee is 5,000 credits. Weapons restrictions in effect. Acknowledged, Aaron replied, proceeding to bay 12. As the communication ended, Aaron turned to her team. They'll be scanning for standard military weapons. Our modified sidearms should escape detection, but be careful. Nexus point security might be corrupt, but they're not incompetent. The Sentinel docked smoothly at the assigned bay. Aaron, Wright, Hassan, and Merka disembarked, dressed in civilian clothing that wouldn't stand out among the station's diverse population. Remember, Aaron told them quietly as they passed through the security checkpoint. We're traders looking for specialty parts. Keep comms open but minimize chatter. The interior of Nexus Point was a chaotic blend of merchant stalls, entertainment venues, and shadowy corridors. Beings from dozens of species mingled in the artificial atmosphere, conducting business, both legal and illicit. Where do we start? Hassan wondered aloud. Information, Aaron replied. We need to know if our targets are still here. Merka nodded. I know a place. Follow me, but not too closely. She led them through the crowded main concourse to a dimly lit establishment called the Void Point. Inside, patrons of various species sat at private booths or gathered around gaming tables. The air was thick with exotic smoke and the hum of dozens of conversations. Merka approached the bar, where a six-armed vexilloid was mixing drinks with practiced efficiency. She exchanged a few words with him, then passed over what appeared to be a small data crystal. The bartender examined it, nodded, and gestured toward a door at the back of the establishment. Rejoining the others, Merka explained quietly. The information broker is expecting us. He's a Quarian named Zell. Be respectful but firm. He responds to strength. The back room was sparsely furnished, containing only a round table and several chairs. Seated at the table was a diminutive being with gray skin and enormous black eyes, a Quarian, a species known for their photographic memory and information-gathering abilities. Greetings, travelers, Zell said, his voice surprisingly deep for his small stature. Merka says you seek information about recent arrivals. What specifically interests you? Aaron took the lead. A Crexian mercenary group arrived recently with human prisoners and biological research materials. We want to know where they are now. Zell's large eyes blinked slowly. Information about Crexians is expensive. Information about Kralnex even more so. So they are here, Wright said. Zell smiled thinly. I didn't say that. Name your price, Aaron said firmly. Not credits, Zell replied. Something more valuable. Information for information. Tell me why Earth military is so interested in Kralnex's activities. Aaron considered her response carefully. We're not military. We're protecting Earth citizens who were attacked and kidnapped, along with sensitive research that could be dangerous in the wrong hands. Zell studied her face. Half-truths make for poor bargaining. Captain Voss. Aaron tensed. Their cover was blown. Relax, Zell continued. Your secret is safe with me. Information is my trade, not my gossip. But I need the whole truth if I'm to help you. Aaron made a quick decision. The research being stolen could be weaponized. Biological agents capable of targeting specific genetic markers. If Kralnex sells this technology, millions could die, and Earth would be blamed. Zell nodded slowly. Now, we understand each other. He leaned forward. Kralnex arrived 18 hours ago. He's currently meeting with potential buyers at the Red Eclipse, a private club in Sector 9. The humans are being held on his ship in the restricted docking area. Alive, for now. They're valuable as long as their expertise is needed to explain the research. And the research materials? Secured in a containment vault within the club. Nex is cautious. He keeps the scientists and the research separated until the sale is complete. Who's the buyer? Hassan asked. Zell's expression became grave. That is the truly troubling part. The front man is a Taurian arms dealer, but he represents a consortium that includes members of the Alliance Military High Command. Aaron felt as if the air had been sucked from the room. The Alliance is buying illegal bioweapons? Not the Alliance officially, Zell clarified. A faction within it. Those who believe Earth's reintegration was premature and dangerous. They seek leverage against your planet. Or a pretext for renewed conflict, Mirka added softly. This changes everything, Wright muttered. Aaron's mind raced with implications. If Alliance military officials were involved in illegal weapons purchases, the political fallout could be enormous, potentially triggering another interplanetary conflict. We need proof, she decided, and we need to stop this sale. Zell slid a data chip across the table. Security codes for the red eclipse and schematics of the restricted docking area. The rest is up to you, he stood. Our transaction is complete. I suggest you move quickly. The sale is scheduled for 3 hours from now. Outside the void point, Erin gathered her team in a quiet alcove. Change of plans, she announced. We're splitting up. Hassan, you and Mirka will infiltrate the restricted docking area and locate the scientists. Wright and I will go to the red eclipse to intercept the research materials and identify the Alliance conspirators. Captain, Mirka cautioned, if Alliance officials are truly involved, this could be considered an act of treason. I'm aware of the implications, Erin replied grimly. But the alternative is letting them acquire bioweapons that could kill millions of humans, or be used to frame Earth for treaty violations. I'll take my chances with a court-martial. They synchronized their communicators and went their separate ways, moving through the crowded station with purposeful anonymity. Wright and Erin made their way to Sector 9, where the red eclipse stood apart from the surrounding establishments, its entrance guarded by 2 massive Taurians with military-grade weapons. Subtle, Wright muttered. How do we get past them? Aaron studied the building. Service entrance. According to Zell's schematics, there should be a staff entry point on the lower level. They descended to the station's maintenance level, where the polished facades of the upper levels gave way to utilitarian corridors and service ducts. Following Zell's map, they located an unmarked door that led to the red eclipse's kitchen area. Using the security codes provided by Zell, Erin bypassed the door's lock system. They slipped inside, finding themselves in a busy kitchen where various species prepared exotic dishes for the club's patrons. Service uniforms, Erin whispered, nodding toward a storage closet. Minutes later, disguised as staff members, they entered the main club area. The red eclipse was opulently decorated, with private booths separated by sound-dampening force fields, and a central area where patrons engaged in various forms of entertainment. According to Zell, the meeting should be happening in the owner's private suite, Erin said quietly, carrying a tray of drinks as cover. Upper level, north side? I see it, Wright replied, his eyes tracking to a guarded staircase. Heavy security. And there's our target, Erin added, nodding toward a tall Crexian ascending the stairs, Kral Nex, matching the database images they had studied. One of his 4 arms carried a secure containment case. The research materials, Wright observed. How do we get up there? Before Erin could respond, her communicator vibrated with an incoming message from Hassan. Captain, we've located the scientists. They're being held on Nex's ship, as Zell said. Security is minimal. 2 guards. We can extract them, but we'll need a distraction when we make our move. Understood, Erin replied softly. Stand by for our signal. She turned to Wright. Change of plans. We need to create a distraction, something big enough to draw attention from both here and the docking bay. Wright's eyes gleamed with sudden inspiration. The station's environmental systems. If we trigger an atmospheric containment alarm, everyone would be focused on preventing a catastrophic decompression. Aaron finished. Perfect. Can you access a control terminal? There's one in the service corridor we passed. Give me 5 minutes. You have 3. Once the alarm sounds, I'm going after Nex and that case. Wright slipped away, while Aaron continued her charade as a server, gradually working her way closer to the guarded staircase. Through her earpiece, she heard Wright's voice. In position, accessing environmental controls now. 2 minutes later, alarms blared throughout the station. Red emergency lights flashed, and a computerized voice announced, "Warning, atmospheric pressure differential detected in sectors 8 through 10. Emergency protocols activated. All personnel proceed to designated safety zones." Chaos erupted in the club as patrons rushed toward the exits. The guards at the staircase hesitated, torn between their duty and self-preservation. Breach detected in adjacent sector. Wright's voice came through Aaron's earpiece. Recommendation: evacuate immediately. The guards abandoned their post, joining the exodus. Aaron dropped her server's tray and sprinted up the stairs, drawing her concealed sidearm. At the top of the staircase, a short corridor led to an ornate door. It was locked, but Aaron had anticipated this. From her pocket, she produced a small device, a universal override developed by Earth engineers, specifically for Alliance security systems. The door slid open, revealing a luxurious suite where 5 figures sat around a conference table. One was Kral Nex. The others included a Taurian, 2 Vexilloids, and a human in an Alliance military uniform. All eyes turned to Aaron as she entered, weapon raised. "Captain Aaron Voss, Earth Civilian Fleet," she announced. "This meeting is over." Kral Nex reacted first, his 4 arms reaching for weapons. Aaron fired, her pulse blast catching him in the shoulder. He staggered but remained standing. "You have no jurisdiction here, Captain," the human in the Alliance uniform said coldly. "You're interfering in official Alliance business. Biological weapons development is illegal under the Treaty of Proxima." "Admiral Tarkin," Aaron replied, recognizing the man from Alliance military briefings. "As is kidnapping Earth citizens." "You misunderstand the situation," Tarkin said smoothly. "We're not developing weapons. We're preventing their development. The research your scientists were conducting could be weaponized. We're securing it for proper containment. By using mercenaries to attack a civilian research station? By kidnapping scientists?" Aaron's voice was thick with disgust. "Try again, Admiral." Kralnex laughed, a harsh sound that filled the room. "The human female is not as naive as you expected. Tarkin." He turned his 4 eyes toward Aaron. "The truth, Captain, is more complex. Your scientists discovered something far more valuable than mere medicine. They found a microorganism that can be programmed to target specific genetic sequences. The perfect biological weapon, which the Alliance intends to use against Earth if necessary," Aaron concluded. "Insurance," Tarkin corrected. "Earth's technological advancement since the blockade was lifted has been concerning. Some in the Alliance believe preemptive measures may be necessary." The containment case sat on the table between them. Inside, Aaron knew, was research that could threaten the existence of her entire species. "Hassan," she spoke into her communicator. "Status?" "Scientists secured," came the reply. "Proceeding to extraction point." "Acknowledged. Meet at Rendezvous Point Alpha." Aaron refocused on the room. "Admiral Tarkin, you and your associates are under arrest for treaty violations, kidnapping, and conspiracy." Tarkin smiled thinly. "You have no authority here, Captain, and you're outnumbered." As if on cue, the door behind Aaron opened, and 2 armed guards entered. Not station security, but Alliance military in plain clothes. "Drop your weapon," one ordered. Aaron calculated her options rapidly. She was outnumbered, but not necessarily outmaneuvered. Arya, she said clearly. Execute Protocol Omega. Through her earpiece came the ship AI's calm voice. Protocol Omega acknowledged. Sentinel weapon systems online. Targeting parameters locked. What have you done? Tarkin demanded. The Sentinel is now targeting this station's main reactor, Aaron informed them. If I don't countermand the order in 10 minutes, or if my life signs terminate, it will fire. You're bluffing, Nex snarled. You wouldn't sacrifice an entire station. To prevent the development of weapons that could kill billions? Test me. Aaron's voice was steel. Now, everyone place your weapons on the table. Slowly. Tarkin signaled to his men, who reluctantly complied. Nex, however, remained defiant. You think this ends here? The Crexian growled. The Alliance has already decided Earth is too dangerous to be left unchecked. Today, tomorrow, it makes no difference. Perhaps, Aaron acknowledged. But it won't be through illegal bioweapons. Not on my watch. She gestured to the containment case. Open it. Nex hesitated, then complied, revealing vials of pale blue liquid and data storage devices. All of it, Aaron insisted. This is all I have, Nex replied. The rest is in my ship's secure vault. Aaron's communicator vibrated again. A coded message from Mirka. Additional research materials secured from ship? Now, Aaron continued. We're all going to wait here quietly until my team confirms the scientists are safe. Then we'll discuss how this situation gets resolved without an interplanetary incident. The Alliance Council won't tolerate this interference, Tarkin warned. And Earth won't tolerate assassination attempts disguised as security measures, Aaron countered. So it seems we have a diplomatic situation on our hands. For 10 tense minutes, they waited in silence. Finally, Hassan's voice came through. Captain, scientists and additional materials secured. Sentinel standing by for extraction. Good, Aaron replied. We're on our way. To the room, she said. Admiral Tarkin, you and your associates will be detained until Alliance authorities can be properly notified of your activities. You're making a grave mistake, Captain, Tarkin said darkly. No, Admiral. You made the mistake when you broke the oldest rule in the galaxy. Do not mess with humans. Using restraints from her tactical belt, Aaron secured Tarkin, Nex, and their associates. She collected the containment case and prepared to escort them to the Sentinel. But as they moved toward the door, Nex made his move. With surprising speed for his injured state, he broke free of his restraints and lunged for a hidden weapon beneath the conference table. Aaron reacted instantly, firing her sidearm. The pulse blast caught Nex squarely in the chest, sending him crashing back against the wall. The weapon, a small but deadly neurotoxin injector, clattered to the floor. Anyone else feeling heroic? Aaron asked. Her weapon trained on the remaining captives. No one moved, with Nex unconscious and the others subdued. Aaron escorted them through the now empty club. The station's alarms had been silenced, but the evacuation had served its purpose, clearing their path to the extraction point. At a maintenance airlock, they rendezvoused with Hassan, Mirka, and the 3 rescued scientists, Drs. Morgan, Patel, and Lahiri. The scientists looked exhausted, but unharmed. The Sentinel is docked at emergency port E7, Hassan reported. We have a clear path. What about station security? Aaron asked. Distracted by a reported breach in the commercial sector, Mirka replied with a slight smile. It seems someone hacked their systems to create multiple false alarms. Good work, Aaron nodded. Let's move out. They proceeded through maintenance corridors to the emergency port, where the Sentinel waited, its engines humming with readiness. Once aboard, Aaron ordered immediate departure. Set course for the nearest Alliance outpost, she commanded, as the ship pulled away from Nexus Point. Maximum speed. In the ship's medical bay, Dr. Reed reunited with her colleagues, while Tarkin, Nex, and their associates were secured in the Sentinel's brig. The research materials? Aaron asked Wells, who had been analyzing the recovered items. Exactly what we feared, the science officer replied grimly. The microorganisms can be genetically programmed to target specific DNA sequences, potentially allowing for biological weapons that could affect one species while leaving others untouched. Or one ethnic group within a species, Dr. Morgan added, having joined them. That's what made it so valuable and so dangerous. And now? Aaron asked. We've secured all samples and research data, Wells assured her. Nothing was left behind. On the bridge, Lieutenant Reeves approached with a concerned expression. Captain, we're receiving multiple hails from Alliance vessels. They're demanding we heave to and prepare for boarding. How many ships? 3 cruisers, approximately 20 minutes behind us at current speed. Aaron considered her options. Running would only make them appear guilty. Fighting was out of the question. The Sentinel was no match for 3 Alliance cruisers. Open a channel, she decided. The main view screen displayed the stern face of an Alliance commander. Captain Voss, you are ordered to cease acceleration and prepare for boarding. You have illegally detained Alliance personnel and interfered in authorized operations. Commander, Aaron replied calmly. I have in my custody Admiral Tarkin and several non-Alliance individuals who were engaged in illegal biological weapons development in violation of the Treaty of Proxima. I also have 3 Earth citizens who were kidnapped by these individuals, along with stolen research materials. The commander's expression didn't change. That is for an Alliance tribunal to determine. Heave to immediately. I intend to submit all evidence and personnel to Alliance authorities, Aaron assured him. But I must insist on proper diplomatic protocols. The research materials in question are Earth property, and the detained scientists are Earth citizens. Under Section 7 of the Alliance Charter, I request neutral arbitration and observation during the transfer of custody. The commander paused, clearly not having expected this response. Stand by, he said finally, cutting the transmission. That won't hold them for long, Wright observed. It doesn't need to, Aaron replied. We just need enough time for our insurance policy. Insurance policy? Reeves questioned. Aaron smiled tightly. While we were on Nexus Point, I had Arya transmit all our findings, including recordings of our confrontation with Tarkin and Nex, to both Earth Central Command and the Alliance Civilian Oversight Committee. The Oversight Committee? Mirka's eyes widened. They have authority to investigate Alliance military operations. Exactly. Aaron nodded. By now, both Earth and the civilian branch of the Alliance know exactly what Tarkin and his co-conspirators were planning. Even if they try to silence us, the truth is already out there. The view screen activated again, showing not only the Alliance commander, but also a civilian in formal diplomatic attire. Captain Voss, the civilian spoke. I am Representative Lorax of the Alliance Civilian Oversight Committee. We have received your transmission and are initiating an investigation into these serious allegations. You are instructed to proceed to Alliance Outpost Gamma 9, where you will transfer custody of the detained individuals and materials to a joint Earth Alliance security team. Understood, Representative, Aaron replied. We are adjusting course now. As the transmission ended, a collective breath of relief swept through the bridge. It worked, Wright said, sounding almost surprised. For now, Aaron cautioned, this isn't over yet. The journey to Outpost Gamma 9 was tense but uneventful. The 3 Alliance cruisers maintained position around the Sentinel, neither threatening nor communicating further. Upon arrival, Aaron personally supervised the transfer of custody. Tarkin glared at her as he was led away by the joint security team. This won't end as you hope, Captain, he said quietly. Earth's ambitions make it a threat. Sooner or later, the Alliance will recognize that. Perhaps, Aaron replied. But when that day comes, it will be based on truth and open diplomacy, not conspiracy and illegal weapons. The scientists and research materials were transferred with equal care, with assurances that Earth representatives would be present throughout the investigation. With their mission completed, the Sentinel departed Outpost Gamma 9, setting course for S-19 relay station. In her quarters, Erin recorded her official report, detailing the events from the initial distress call to the final confrontation at Nexus Point. A chime at her door interrupted her thoughts. "Enter," she called. Mirka stepped inside, her iridescent scales reflecting the soft lighting. "Captain, I've received word from my contacts on the Alliance Civilian Oversight Committee. The investigation is proceeding rapidly. Several other military officials have been implicated in the conspiracy." "And the scientists?" "They are being treated well. The committee has already acknowledged Earth's legal ownership of the research, with safeguards to prevent weaponization." Erin nodded, relief washing over her. "Thank you, Mirka, not just for the information, but for your support throughout this mission. I know it put you in a difficult position." "Not as difficult as you might think," Mirka replied. "The Alliance was founded on principles of cooperation and mutual respect. What Tarkin and his allies were planning violated everything the Alliance stands for." She paused. "I believe in those principles, even when members of my own government forget them." "What happens now?" Erin asked. "Politically," Mirka considered the question, "there will be repercussions. Some in the Alliance will see Earth's actions as aggressive, regardless of the justification. Others will recognize the threat that was averted. Diplomatic relations will be complicated for some time." "But we prevented a war," Erin said softly. "Yes," Mirka agreed, "for now." After Mirka left, Erin stood at her viewport, watching the stars streak by as the Sentinel traveled at high speed. The crisis had been averted, but Mirka was right. This was just one battle in a longer conflict. The tensions between Earth and the Alliance ran deep, rooted in fear and mistrust on both sides. The ship's AI materialized beside her. "Captain, we are receiving a transmission from Earth Central Command. Priority 1. "Put it through to my quarters," Erin ordered. The holographic display activated, showing the face of Fleet Admiral Santiago. "Captain Voss, I've reviewed your preliminary report. The situation you uncovered is deeply concerning." "Yes, sir. The Alliance Council has issued a formal apology for the actions of Admiral Tarkin and his conspirators. They're claiming it was a rogue operation, unsanctioned by Alliance leadership." "Do you believe that, sir?" Erin asked. Santiago's expression was grim. "Partially. I believe the Council didn't authorize biological weapons development, but the sentiment behind it, the fear of Earth's growing influence, that's real enough." "What are my new orders, Admiral?" "Return to Earth for debriefing. The Sentinel will undergo a complete inspection and crew rotation. You and your team will receive commendations for your actions." Santiago paused. "But, unofficially, Voss, be prepared for increased scrutiny. The Alliance will be watching Earthships more closely after this incident." "Understood, sir." As the transmission ended, Erin returned to the viewport. Earth was still days away, giving her time to reflect on the implications of what they had discovered and prevented. The oldest rule in the galaxy, "Do not mess with humans," had been broken, and the consequences had nearly been catastrophic. But the rule existed for a reason. Humanity's determination, resourcefulness, and fierce protection of their own made them dangerous opponents. Erin's communicator chirped with a new message. It was from Commander Wallace at S-19. "New orders received. Upon completion of Earth debriefing, Sentinel to resume patrol of Orion Spur outer sectors. Intelligence suggests increased activity near the Titan Fru system. Observation only. The oldest rule has been broken once. Don't let it happen again." Erin smiled grimly. The message was clear. The game continued, but the stakes had been raised. Earth would remain vigilant, and so would she. "Arya," she called to the ship's AI, "set course for Earth, maximum speed." "Course set, Captain," the AI responded. "ETA 72 hours. As the Sentinel accelerated toward home, Erin made a silent promise to the kidnapped scientists, to her crew, and to humanity itself. She would continue to defend Earth's interests, uphold the principles of peace, and ensure that those who broke the oldest rule in the galaxy would face the consequences of their actions. The stars streaked by outside her viewport, each one a potential haven or threat in the vast, complex political landscape of the galaxy. And somewhere among them, the balance of power was shifting once again.